So today we're going to talk about some common steeplechase questions associated with the radius and ulna. In our previous videos, we started with the clavicle, we moved to the scapula, we also talked about the humerus, and right now we are finalizing things regarding the radius and the ulna. Understand that we're not only talking about the osteology, we're also talking about some muscles to relating and even innervation as well. Just basically common steeplechase questions, the ones you likely won't escape in your next steeplechase exam. So take a look at this bone. The radius and the ulna. Obviously, you know this is the radius. It has a smaller proximal end but a larger distal end. And right here is the ulna, a wider proximal end and then a smaller distal end. Okay, so both of them are the bones of the forearm. The ulna is the one medial, the radius is the one lateral. Okay, so right now we're going to take our steeplechase questions from proximal to distal. So let's focus on the proximal area first and then talk about some common question areas around there. As you can see in this particular picture, some parts of the ulna has been shaded white. This area right here is shaded, and then this area down here is also shaded. Imagine you are asked, identify the parts shaded red. Well, let me differentiate them because there are two different structures. This one in blue and then this one in red. Do you know what those structures are? On the ulna, by the way, that's the expo I'm giving you. There are structures on the ulna. Did you get it? Well, this picture should answer your question. The part I shaded up here was the olecranon process. We mentioned a few things regarding this in our lecture on the humerus. And the one down here is basically the coronoid process. You know, olecranon process fits into the olecranon fossa of the humerus, where the coronoid process fits into the coronoid fossa of the humerus. Okay, so there is also one beautiful structure relating around this proximal end of the ulna, and it's a very shallow depression to the lateral side of the ulna, which is where the head of the radius articulates with. Do you know what structure that is? That's actually the radial notch of the ulna. It's basically the part where the radial head is attaching to the ulna, radial notch of the ulnar bone. Okay, so you likely wouldn't escape these three structures in your next steeplechase exam. Sometimes too, the notch here will be shaded, the entire notch, the entire fossa here, and you'll be asked to identify what that structure is. That's actually the trochlear notch. Do you remember this from our lecture on the common steeplechase questions associated with humerus? We'll talk about that trochlear notch. The trochlear notch is where the trochlea of the humerus fits into, okay, to form the humero-ulnar joint proper. Okay, so I really want you to take note of those. As you can see in this picture, I've kind of drawn arrows to two different parts of this ulnar bone. The first arrow is pointing to this area. What structure is that? And then this one down here, this roughened area. Do you know what structure that is? We just mentioned this one now. This is the radial notch of the ulna. This is where the radial head basically fits into. That radial head is gonna fit down here. Okay, so it fits into the radial notch, and then down here, that structure is actually the ulnar tuberosity. It's not so observable in this picture. It's just a roughened area on the ulnar bone. As you can see in this picture, radial notch and then ulnar tuberosity down here. Okay, sometimes that ulnar tuberosity will even be shaded, and they won't ask you what is the name of the structure. They will ask you what is attaching to the part shaded green. Do you know what structure is attaching to the ulnar tuberosity? The brachialis muscle, the major flexor of the elbow joint. The brachialis muscle comes from the body of the femur and then it goes down to as insert on the tuberosity of the ulna, otherwise called the ulnar tuberosity. Okay, it is bicep brachii, that large fusiform muscle. That's the one that goes to the radial tuberosity. But brachialis muscle proper, okay, it's kind of deep to all of this. That's what you have down there. It's actually underneath bicep brachii, and it goes to the ulnar tuberosity. Please take note of it. And if that muscle is pinned, because sometimes you actually understand that muscle when it is pinned, they can sometimes ask what is the innervation to the muscle. Remember, it is the musculocutaneous nerve that innervates the muscle of the arm. Okay, we have BBC, bicep brachii, brachialis muscle, coracobrachialis. All these three muscles, they are innervated by the musculocutaneous nerve. Okay, so but what brought us to this ulnar tuberosity? That's where your brachialis muscle attaches to. This question came out when I was in 200 level actually, and many people mistook it for bicep brachii muscle. Just take a look at their insertion. Bicep brachii insert on the radius. Brachialis muscle insert on the ulna. Please, just always remember that. And if they ask you what is the innervation to the muscle, musculocutaneous nerve. Are we good on that? Let's move on. On to the next. Now we are now on the radius. You readily recognize the radius. It has this very round head. It's actually very beautiful. I find it cute. And then down here is the neck of the radius. About two important structures should I say questions are thrown at you. We have this part in yellow and this part in red. What structure is this? Head of the radius. What structure is this right here? We just mentioned it. That's in fact your radial tuberosity. I think I'll prefer a textbook picture to make justice to this. Take a look at this picture here. You certainly agree with me, this is the head of the radius, and that roughened place right here close to the head of the humerus, that's in fact our radial tuberosity. Sometimes they shade the head of the radius and then they ask you it is attaching to what? Remember, it is attaching to the capitulum of the humerus. Why radial tuberosity? What's attaching to it? The bicep brachii muscle proper that attaches to the radial tuberosity. Okay, how about this picture here? This is in fact our radial styloid process. Once you just recognize the bone, this is obviously the radius here. That shom part, this projecting part right here, that is actually our what? That is our styloid process. The ulna too, it has its own styloid process. Let's say I draw the ulna right here. It too, it has its own shom down here. And then that's actually the ulnar styloid process. But to the lateral side here, we have the radial styloid process. Take a look at this textbook picture so it makes much more sense to you. Ulnar styloid process, radial styloid process. Okay, so always take note of those. And I still like this picture because it is actually showing the two dry bones, how they are in the human body. The ulnar styloid process and radial styloid process are right here to the side. And lest I forget, sometimes you can actually have the side of these bones shaded. It can either be the radius or the ulnar. Their side will just be shaded and they will ask you what is attaching to this part from top to bottom. Do you know what structure that is? That's the interosseous membrane. That ligament linking the humerus to, I say humerus, the radius to the ulna. So you have it lining in the middle right there. So sometimes the sides of these bones can be shaded. Just always remember the interosseous membrane is very much associated with those, with the medial side of the radius but lateral side of ulna. Okay, so I want you to take a look at this. This one beautiful picture. Two questions are being asked here. What is this part? And then this one down here. What is this part shaded black? I'm shading yellow now. Okay, so but they are not just asking let's start with the one in black here, the one down here. Okay, so they say identify the muscular attachment of the part painted black. Okay, do you know what muscle is attaching there? Pronator quadratus. Okay, that important pronator of the forearm, it attaches to this distal end of the radius. And then up here, this is obviously our radial tuberosity, and this is the insertion point for the bicep brachii muscle. Like I mentioned earlier, it can be pinned. You won't escape it sometime. In case you don't remember the pronator quadratus muscle, is that rectangular, or should I say quadrangular muscle it's very deep. Okay, it's deep in the forearm towards the wrist, and it is right there lying linking the ulna to the radius. Okay, it is a pronator quadratus muscle. Please take good note of that muscle. And I think I should just show you this particular picture that is showing different muscular origin and insertion points around the bones of the forearm. Okay, so there are many muscles, but they're not usually common steeplechase questions, but it's just good of you to remember them. As long as you're familiar with the muscles of the forearm, you shouldn't have forgotten them by now. But these ones are common question. Bicep brachii is on where? On the radial tuberosity. Pronator quadratus muscle is also on towards the distal end of the radius. Okay, so this area too on the radius, yeah, that's where your supinator muscle comes from. It's also important. You should take note of it. Supinator muscle, pronator quadratus muscle down here. Okay, so that's all on this particular picture. Take a look at this one. Can you identify the side of this structure? You know for sure, this is the radius, but like always, nobody will ask you to identify the bone. Instead, they will ask you to identify the side of the bone. Is it a left or a right radius? Okay, so how do you identify this? I usually advise my students to just draw the complete forearm bones. You know, this is the radial, this is the radius, this is the styloid process. You know, the styloid process points to the lateral side. So this is obviously the lateral side of this human being that owns this bone. Now let's complete the ulnar bone. Let's draw the ulnar bone here. And then the ulnar bone, the head of the humerus attaches, the head of the radius, sorry, it attaches to the ulnar bone up there. And then let's just draw our yama ulnar bone here. Okay, so and this is obviously the medial side of this bone. Let's complete the picture. Let's draw the contralateral bones. You agree with me too that we're going to have another ulnar bone on the contralateral side. Abi now. We're going to have a contralateral ulnar bone, and we're certainly also going to have a contralateral radius. I'm not that good of an artist, just forgive me. You see if you can see the signs and symptoms already. I know sabi, just they manage. Yeah, so this is the contralateral radius, and you as the observer, you are standing here and you are looking at these bones. So what side do you think this belongs to? This particular radius. This is obviously the left radius because this is the medial side. The ulnar bones, they reside in the medial side, and this person is obviously facing you. Yeah, person is looking at you. So this is the left radius bone, while this one on this side is the right radius bone. And if the ulnar were here too, this will be the left ulnar, while this one here will be the right ulnar. Take a look at this picture in case you are confused. This exact thing here, this exact bone right here, see the way it fits perfectly to what we have here. See this, it fits perfectly to this particular guy. Just remember that styloid process is pointing laterally away. Just complete it by drawing an ulnar bone. Draw the contralateral one too, and then maybe a contralateral ulnar bone, but you wouldn't even need a contralateral radius and ulnar bone. Once you just identify the styloid process on this side, and then you complete it with an ulnar, you will know for sure if this is the left or right. And obviously, this is the left side, this is the right side. Okay, so how about this particular bone here? Identify the side of this bone. This is the ulnar bone. I want you to try this by yourself. And you know the ulnar bone is the medial bone, so you have to complete it with a lateral radius, right? So let's do that together. You can pause and maybe answer, and then let's arrive at the answer together. So don't forget our ulnar styloid process is here, right? And it is certainly pointing to the medial side. Okay, so it means the radius will be on this other side. The radius is the lateral bone. So let's just draw this guy here. So this is our radius. Can we try drawing the contralateral ulnar bone too? Contralateral ulnar bone, let me connote it in red. Contralateral ulnar bone will be on this side. And then we also have a contralateral radius. Contralateral radius will be on this side. You as the observer, check out these guys. Where's your left? Where's your right? This is obviously the left set of bones, and this one right here are the right set of bones. So this ulnar bone actually belongs to the right side. So this is the right ulnar bone. You know, you won't have time to be drawing all of this in your steeplechase, but the more questions you get familiar with, the better it is for you. Personally, if I'm looking at the bone, I can readily identify the sides in a matter of seconds. Okay, so that's why you should familiarize yourself with the bones presented to you in your gross anatomy lab. Check them out, identify the sides. Okay, so but if you've not been doing that before, just use this particular format. Just complete the picture and you will readily identify the bone. Some people have very, should I say, photographic, or they have a way to imagine things easier and they will readily recognize this without even need to do much. But I just provided a systematic approach to also still arrive at the right answer. Anyway, now we have been now. So the cocoa is sure to get the right answer. So that's all on that. And we still have a few questions here. Identify the parts shaded black. This is the ulnar bone to start with. It is a proximal end. Olecranon coronoid process, and then to the medial, to the lateral side of it here, a part is shaded black. That is actually the radial notch of the ulna. is exaggerated here because of the shadow. There's a shadow here. So, but we have our radial notch of the ulna on that side. How about this question? Oh, we already answered this already, of course. This is again our what? The radial notch of the ulna. The exact thing that was shaded back black earlier. And then down here is our ulnar tuberosity. Okay, so it's meant to be a quick class, but it's also important for us to understand this concept so we don't rush things up. So thank you very much for listening. There will likely be a virtual steeplechase quiz attached to this video. It's for you to practice, not just for you to watch videos alone. Familiarize yourself with the kind of questions to expect in your exam. More importantly, the pressure of being inside the exam, or time yourself. The time are very short, and it will help you to train yourself such that when it's time for your real steeplechase exam, you will be well prepared ahead. Thank you very much for tuning in. The name is Dean.